I really want to watch this and react whilst I'm watching it, because I've never done that before, and I really want to get into this dirt.
Uche, you weren't very receptive to me being emotionally vulnerable about a flaw that a mistake.
But I was.
Boom. And that is why this relationship won't work. He's never been emotionally receptive of her emotions and how she feels. He judges a lot.
Still felt the need in the back of my head to, for whatever reason, to protect Lydia and her feelings too.
Child, not you, like... Is this man Superman? Not protect Lydia.
I think it's over between us.
What?
I understand.
Wow. Wow. It's done. What? Not they're playing this music, man. That's how you know it's done.
You make me feel like I'm not enough for you.
You're being defensive.
This ain't gonna work.
Deceitful. What do I owe you? I don't trust you for shit.
Let's go.
I made mistakes. You're a shit person.
Oof.
23.
It's fine.
Let's talk about it.
Lydia planned to be here with me. It's not fate. She fucking planned for us to both be here because she couldn't let me go.
Uche is crazy. Okay guys, I'm back. We have to get into this, because at what point, where is this season going, and what couples are actually strong for the wedding? Because I don't understand. This is the most messed up season of Love is Blind that we have ever seen. Hey guys, it's Morale. Hope you guys are doing well today. Back at again with another video. If you have not subscribed, click that button guys for daily and consistent content. And let's get straight into this mess of a video. Whew, Uche is 5150 crazy. Uche is just... he's another type of person. I didn't expect him to absolutely leave everything when it went with Aliyah, and the way he had this argument with, you know, Lydia. It really just goes to show you that his time on Love is Blind is nothing but a performance, and he's doing so for energy, reactions, followers, clout. That is the message that I'm getting from how he's displaying himself on this show. There was no reason for him to talk to Aliyah like that, and she hit the nail on. She read and fulfilled at that table. Basically, she said, you should be on the ultimatum. You two should have obviously plotted and planned this. That's what it feels like to us. And also, you are not emotionally receptive to me. And that's exactly what it is. She's not, he's not emotionally receptive. And then of course he wanted to just dump her, make her look like an idiot so he can walk away so that his ego is not bruised. The biggest enemy of a man, especially when they're dating, is their ego. Their ego, they want to protect it and cradle it so much, and it's morally superior to everybody else, and therefore they have to act in certain ways. And your ego, when you're so protective of your ego, you come from many insecurities.
A picture of my house and you sent it to me. You said, I see you.
I was passing by and we were having a conversation. Don't act like we didn't have that by it.
That is why you're so protective of your ego. And that's exactly what is happening here. Even when he had that conversation with Lydia, let's fast forward to the ending of that. There was no reason for him to have that conversation with her, rehashing things to be morally superior over her. It made zero sense. He sat her down, dragged her for filth, left, right, center, showing her screenshots of looking at stories and etc. I'm glad that Lydia exposed him, because for him to have the audacity, this is why men are actually just mad. For him to have the audacity, for him to have, look at my ears, the way I will fly like Dumbo, because the way that this man had the audacity to sit there and judge Aliyah about cheating XYZ, when lo and behold, this man was sexting somebody whilst he was with Aliyah.
Do you want me to share what happened? Do you want to tell me about the sex thing?
Ooh.
He slept with a girl when he was dating with me.
Wow.
He had the nerve to judge Aliyah.
What did I say? What? And he was making Aliyah go mad. Did I tell you in the last review, if you peeped it, that the way this man acts, if there is someone he can control, it is a better target. And he was doing so and judging Aliyah like that to be morally superior, whilst he wasn't being honest. She was being honest about the fact that she cheated on somebody. He wasn't being honest.
I ain't gonna deal with this shit.
I just showed
Period.
you. You're gonna walk off again.
Yes! And believe me, this is the last time you will see my fucking face.
You don't know how to have.
Oh my over the fact that he was disloyal to Lydia at one point in their relationship. He didn't need to do that, because if he did that, then he's no longer morally superior. And with being morally superior, you have power in the relationship. Get onto that. And so the fact that Lydia didn't even choose to rehash that, I'm not a big fan of Lydia, because I didn't like the way that she was so emotionally available for Aliyah, but didn't tell Aliyah that she used to date this man. I think that's very sus and wayward to me. But in that argument, I'm glad that Lydia dragged him, raised her voice, because clearly he was raising his, let the world know about the fact that he was sexting an XYZ, and then walked away from the situation, because it was very unnecessary. He was doing so for the cameras, he was doing so for the performance, to let people know that, you know, Lydia treated me wrong, Aliyah treated me wrong, I am the damsel in distress, let me walk away. But doesn't understand how degrading and condescending he comes across in these conversations. This man is dangerous when it comes to relationships. Clearly, because things haven't worked with Lydia rehashing things, or even Aliyah, or anybody else for that matter, regardless when it comes to this. I'm glad Aliyah got out of it. I'm glad that Taylor left. It's refreshing to see girls not really wanting to get to that finale and to the wedding. If a relationship ain't gonna work, you ain't gonna waste my time, ain't got no watch on my hands. You are not wasting my time. I cannot tell you the time, because I don't have time for it. I'm gonna leave. And that's what they both did, because they didn't need to be with both JP and flipping Uche. JP upset because Taylor doesn't wear makeup, but have you seen your face? Have you seen your face to be talking like this? The audacity of men in this season is absolutely insane. Normally it's the girls on Love is Blind who move wild, but clearly it's the men this season who've taken the cake. Well, not always the girls. I feel like the men, Baptiste, etc. We can go on and on. Wow. Okay, so I feel like it's just a lot. In my opinion, I feel like it definitely is a lot with how this whole season is going. I feel like it's just a ruckus, an absolute mess. And I think that the way that Uche is moving with both Lydia and Aliyah is just disrespectful in the highest degree, but he cannot see that. He's a 33-year-old man. We're not talking about somebody who's in their mid-20s like Milton, or in their teens, when 17, 18, 19. We're talking about somebody who's in their mid-30s, going on 40, acting like this. It's absolutely insane. Going off the back of that, I don't see Lydia and Milton working. Every time that she has a intense situation like she did with Uche, she's like, Milton, Milton, like kind of screaming his name. And she's very demanding. When she met the family and everything, you know, she was like, we want kids, they're gonna speak Spanish at home, and this, that, and this is. And I think that will just get to Milton at some point. I don't know why. It's going really well for them two as of right now. I think because their personalities mesh. She is demanding, she is neurotic, she's overly emotional. He is just calm, laid back, and passive, and that can work together so far. So as of right now, it looks like it's going well between Milton and Lydia, and only time will tell. I knew, let's just break down Izzy and Stacy, because I knew that this was never going to work. I feel like, you know, being somebody who's so emotionally unavailable like Stacy, things are not going to work. And as time has gone on, Izzy has grown to irritate me, and I just knew that there was something about this man when it comes to reality TV and watching him on Love is Blind. I get Stacy's point in that, you know, there are things that you have of your old relationships, and why haven't you taken them out? Because you know I'm going to come to your house, you're not considering it. But at the same time, I can see Izzy's point where he just didn't think it was that deep because he's not with them anymore. So I can see how they both think when it comes to that scenario, and that he didn't mean any malice behind it. And I'm like that he fought for the relationship, and, you know, they met the family and everything, and they resolved whatever it is. But Stacy likes to walk away. She doesn't like to sort things out, which I find quite interesting. I also find it interesting that she's not emotionally available for that relationship, yet when she's with her family, she was getting very emotional as well. So I feel like she is emotionally available. However, the emotions are displaced. She doesn't keep them within a relationship or prioritize those emotions with the person that she's with. Rather, she keeps them around her family or other people. So I think that she is an emotional person. She does cry. She just is very selective with where that goes. And that is probably because of her childhood or things that might have taken place where, you know, you are meant to show emotions here. And if you show emotions there, you don't get rewarded for it, or you get told off for it or scolded, and, you know, you've learned those neural pathways. Sorry, I'm going psychology into this. That's why I just find it interesting. Izzy had no right to go to Johnie and really have that conversation. It was not needed. It was unnecessary. You left the girl. You're not even with them anymore. You're with, you know, Stacy. So why are you having this conversation? Whether I like Johnie or not, I just think it was unnecessary for him to have that conversation just to feel morally superior. And that, you know, he kept going back and forth about how she's sketchy and etc. And that, you know, she's a player and she's terrible and this, that. It doesn't matter because it's been 2 weeks on, 3-4 weeks on. You've met Stacy, you've met the parents. And then for you to go running off to Stacy to say I was railing her, I was going in on her, is a red flag for Stacy. Because why are you so excited about railing, going in on another girl when you're a grown man? doesn't make any sense. I think it's very unnecessary, and that should be a red flag for Stacy. But of course, you know, she has her own issues with Johnie, so clearly she's going to be clouded in that, and only time will tell. The trailer is showing that both Izzy and Stacy are arguing and not getting along. So we'll see what happens when it comes to their wedding stage. This is the only relationship situation where we're not really seeing much going on with any other couples. There's only two. I feel like Johnie and her man should come back into the conversation and have their wedding moment, because we only have two couples. So the producers need to think of something, because I don't understand what's happening with this season. I think it's a very good season. There's a lot of interweaving storylines. I feel like the Lydia, Aliyah, Uche storyline is very interesting for a lot of people to get into as well, and people are messy. So it is interesting and enjoyable, but in terms of the couples being made, I don't have, as of right now, after watching a good 7 episodes, a couple that I'm completely standing for and really want to be there for the wedding and clapping. I don't have that for this season. And this is the first season where I don't see a couple that I'm thoroughly in there for. I'm not head over heels with Izzy and Stacy. Milton and Lydia, I don't really see working out. It would have been nice to have seen Aliyah with somebody else, or, you know, bring in other contestants if they've mixed. It would have been nice to have been seeing that. That's just the way I see it. So, this was a really messy episode, and I'm glad that I broke this down separately in a separate video. And I just think that it is a lot what is happening. It is an absolute mess what is happening. And yeah, I just think Uche is absolutely wild for how he has spoken to these girls. He's really taken the cake for the most talkative person on this season. But at the same time, I do think that Lydia is also just bewildering, and I don't see her relationship with Milton working either. Aliyah got out, Taylor got out, they both got out of their relationships before it got far worse for them, and I'm so glad that they did that. I'm so glad that they did that, because Uche is just very calculated, very manipulative, you know, very mean, narc. I can see as well. I can see that with the way he speaks. It's very robotic, and I just think that the way he was so calculated in that sit down with Aliyah just looks like whenever he speaks to Aliyah, it just looks like a father scolding their daughter. That is the vibe that I get. He always has to be right. He can't be wrong. And even if he's wrong, he will continuously remind you that he was wrong and that he said sorry to use that. It's just a lot. It's a lot, guys. This was a mess episode, but I wanted to get these reviews out there now that the episodes are out. We binge watch anyways, and so that you guys can have this Love is Blind content to watch before the next batch of episodes, you know, launch on the 6th of October. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Click that button for daily and consistent content. I would appreciate it. Subscribe. Please, guys. It's 24/7 content this October. We're going in hard. I'm going to start putting up the shorts, and I'll catch you guys soon for another review.